Hello, once again. I was recently going through some videos on YouTube, various topics, and I came across this video here by Undertaker Freak 1127. Anyway, sorry. I was watching it. I've watched it a couple of times because I need to get the list of symptoms that he put on there. And I thought I'd go through mine as well because I actually noticed there was a few more on there that I've looked up before that weren't part of the list that I looked up before. Anyway, so I'll go through them. Lack of empathy. Well, and these are the symptoms, so I'll go through them, so tell you where I've noticed my problems lying and that. So the lack of empathy. I'm not entirely sure that one really affects me. Really, I think I've got a great deal of empathy. It's just sometimes I have problems communicating that. Sometimes, and then you go in from that into lack of people's lack of understanding people's emotions, and well, that one quite often I sometimes have problems with because especially on the internet I've noticed that when I'm text chatting I fail to understand when people are mad at me and when they're not when they're just having a joke or something like that. Sometimes that has a problem with me. Yeah, so then we go on to narrow interests. Well, yeah, I have very narrow interests. When I was growing up and when I was in high school especially, I had two key interests: wrestling and Star Trek. Those were my two interests. So I was not very popular, and of course I did play chess, but that kind of fell into the Star Trek interest because there was a lot of nerdy, geeky stuff I was doing at the time, except for comic books, which was really weird. I've only recently gotten to them. So, yeah, a very narrow interest. Lack of understanding sarcasm or metaphor. Now, that one, I don't sometimes, but not all the time. That can fall into the understanding people's emotions and all that. Metaphor I can sometimes understand, but not always. Intense focus. Yes, especially when I'm watching television or playing a video game, something like that, and I can just sit there and just focus intensely on what I'm doing. Yeah, very rarely can I. It takes quite a bit. My mother can testify to this. That yeah, that's a problem. Large vocabulary. I'm not sure about that one. Unless everyone else has got a very low vocabulary, I've got pretty standard. Some words I know, I've noticed my friends like, what do you mean? What's that? What does that mean? Oh, that means this. Rambling, yeah, quite often. When I have to edit videos, sometimes, especially lately when I'm doing a lot more editing. Not all the time, but I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, I got a chance to ramble on. Tics, yes. Look, I got one right now. Yeah. When I get overly excited when I'm playing a video game, maybe I got a tendency to do this to the back of my head. That's one of my tics. I have a few. It's usually this one's on the list, but it's usually something to do with your hands. You gotta do stuff. Heightened sensitivity, yeah, and that's usually to smells, crowds, or whatever. But mainly with me, it's crowds. That's why I'm kind of glad I live in a small town. Oh well, compared to America, yeah, it is a small town. Yeah. Delayed motor development. Now, this one, yes and no. Well, when I was growing up, I had encephalitis, and I was in a coma for 5 to 7 days. I can't remember what it was. So when I woke up, I had to relearn everything again. I had to learn to walk, talk. Apparently, I don't really remember it, so I've only been told this, that I had to learn how to do just about everything all over again. Unable to change tone. Well, yeah. Again, that's more other people noticing that than me. Well, yeah. So that's, especially when I'm distracted from my intense focus. Talking only to people you like. Well, I'm not going to talk to people I hate, or I have no interest in knowing. So, yeah, that one. Kind of like, low tolerance to Monday test. Oh yes, definitely a low tolerance to mundane tasks. I hate cleaning. I just can't stand it. So quite often my place is in a bit of a mess, but yeah, it's not too bad. Like, some stuff just irritates me. Intent, focus to thinking things out logically, as opposed to intense focus and working things out illogically. But yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I suppose that one. So quite a bit, very. I think one or two were the only ones that didn't affect me. But yeah, especially the tics one. Yeah, a lot of people notice that one. Quite a bit. So yeah. So Undertaker 1127, I think it is. Just bring it up. I'll put this as a reply. I understand that there's already a reply up there, so yeah, Undertaker 1127, and I've hit the sub button on your channel. Oh, quite a bit. You got fan page and everything. So, yep. So yeah, so that's it, guys. Stay tuned. Also upcoming are going to be my further videos on the invasion angle, rebooked by me. WCW 2000, rebooked by me, will be up too. And also, hopefully, ECW 2006 to from its inception to December to December. Okay, guys, that's it.